Today on Florida Sportsman Best Boat. For anglers who require a platform that can handle the demands of tournament fishing, we'll be taking a look at the Skeeter SX230, a bay boat with an overall length of 23 feet 6 inches, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 250. Standout features on the Skeeter SX230. A high-speed hull is a must if you want to be the first to the fishing grounds. These hulls are designed to have less wetted surface when on plane, creating additional speed and efficiency. Ample storage will ensure a safe place for all the gear you need to bring, fishing tackle, dive tanks, and more. A well-engineered live well system will keep baits alive and kicking throughout the entire day of fishing, even in the most demanding of conditions. If you want to be able to fish effectively on the flats and in the Gulf Stream, we'll be looking at the Blue Wave 2400 Pure Bay, a bay boat with an overall length of 24 feet 5 inches, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and max horsepower rating of 300. Standout features on the Blue Wave 2400 Pure Bay. With the flexibility to fish both inshore and offshore, having large rod lockers to stow different types of fishing gear makes changing location a breeze. Comfortable helm seating that holds you in place while sitting and allows plenty of room to stand while operating the boat adds safety and comfort. Stern jump seats provide an excellent place for guests to sit while underway and fold down when fishing to give anglers maximum room on the rear casting platform. For those looking to enjoy time with the family and get serious about fishing, we'll be taking a look at the Carolina Skiff 24 Ultra Elite, a bay boat with an overall length of 23 feet 9 inches, a beam of 8 feet 5 inches, and max horsepower rating of 250. Standout features on the Carolina Skiff 24 Ultra Elite. Perfect for bringing the family. Bow seating with removable backrests allow passengers to face forward and enjoy the view while underway. Easy console access provides a clear entry into the head, keeping the family comfortable while on the water. A high freeboard provides safety and security while offshore, helping to keep skippers from falling overboard and dry from salt spray when the seas kick up. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they conduct walkthroughs and review key features, all to help you decide if this is the best boat for you.
Welcome to this episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat. I'm your host Dave East, along with my co-host Captain Rick Riles. Let's start off looking at that 23-foot Skeeter. Their heritage came from the bass boat world. They carried that sleek, low design into the bay boat market, and it works. You know, it doesn't have the high gunnels that you see on a lot of bay boats, but it doesn't have the windage, easier to control with a trolling motor, and it's fast. It's a speedy boat because that design that made them famous in the bass boat world is also getting them a name in the bay boat world for the same reason.
There's a lot of bay boats that are going to that pad, but I gotta tell you, that 24 Blue Wave, utility is the word that comes to mind. That boat is just so many things that speak to a very, very experienced fisherman. And it's really solid once you get it offshore. Doesn't have too high a freeboard, so you can't power it on a trolling motor on the flats. You certainly can, very capable there. But it's got enough freeboard to where when you take it offshore, you feel like you're inside the boat, not standing on the boat.
But if you're gonna do more offshore than you're gonna do inshore, you might wanna look at that Sea Chaser by Carolina Skiff. Much higher sides, kind of blurring the line between the center console, you know, a typical offshore center console and a larger bay boat. Still only 24 feet long, but a much bigger boat. When you look at it, the profile of the boat's bigger, the gunnels are higher, definitely can take a little bit rougher water than a typical bay boat.
Here we go. That's a boat, once again, that was born offshore and kind of came inshore and is very capable inshore, but it's truly at home once you break the jetties. I like the freeboard on that boat. There was a lot to like about it. You know, Carolina Skiff started out building little square skiffs. They've certainly come a long way.
When we come back, hosts Dave East and Rick Riles take a closer look at a boat designed to perform on and off the fishing grounds, the Skeeter SX230. This segment brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
Yamaha's next generation V6 4-strokes are changing the game.
Mid-range power was awesome.
Fuel, the burn, it's unbelievable.
Couldn't believe the speed and the fuel economy is pretty impressive.
I mean, I couldn't believe the power. It was like it was more like doing a quarter mile on a dragster.
And them things are like, it's a whole nother game. So I made the switch.
Experience the difference for yourself during the Yamaha Discover V6 Offshore Demo Tour. See why we call it the Game Changer.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they take a closer look at the Skeeter SX230. Representing the 23 to 24 foot class in the bay boat category, the Skeeter SX230 has an overall length of 23 feet 6 inches, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 250. Designed to be the first to the fishing grounds, she has a draft of 12 inches, a dry weight of 2,875 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 59 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
This is a Skeeter SX230. It's a bay boat. It can take the family out, but if you want to fish tournaments, man, this is the machine to do it in. This is a boat that performs. She's sleek. It looks like it's doing 60 miles an hour sitting on the trailer, because it does do 60 miles an hour, and it handles well. Any Skeeter that you go out and you make that hard turn, the boat won't swipe out from underneath you. They designed this hull for performance. That's what I like.
Just like you said, Skeeter started in inshore bass boats. That was the heritage and the thought behind building this boat. This is a great boat for a guy whose primary mission is inshore fishing and once in a while wants to get offshore.
Let's look at the interior features and see what makes this boat stand out.
Just like every boat we look at, it's always the little unseen things that you don't notice that really stand out. Let me give you an example. You know what rotomolding is?
Sure.
Every hatch on the Skeeter, every compartment is rotomolded. It's solid. You're never gonna end up with the spider cracks in this fish box. You don't have that hollow feeling to it. You understand what I'm saying? It is a very, very superior way to do the insides of your compartments. They made this fish box long and they made the lid long. It fits the boat perfectly. On the other side, you've got what looks like the exact same storage area, but it's all rod lockers. So you can put all your rods there, all your fish here, everything's below deck out of the way.
After the anchor locker, you've got a huge storage compartment up here in the bow. This is why when you take all the storage combined, Skeeter considers this to be best in class for the amount of storage available in a 23-foot boat.
And the most natural place there is to put rods, alongside the console. Now, if you're gonna do a T-top, you're gonna have to make provisions for that. But I love my console rocket launchers. No question that your rods are never gonna bounce out when you're running.
Well, too, look at the amount of room you've got to walk past. This boat's got a 98-inch beam, but still you've got plenty of room on either side of the console. Two anglers can pass at the same time. You don't see that on a 23-foot bay boat very often. Well, come around the back side of this console to the helm.
Part of what makes this boat their tournament edition is this small console and the ability to pass by it, okay? It's big enough, it's the size that you want with nothing that you don't need. This rocket launcher, it is brilliant in its simplicity. They've got a latch on the back of this rocket launcher that is so much easier than any other system to get in and out of it. It's just a total evolutionary change almost.
Well, it's proprietary. You're only going to see this on a Skeeter. And what's nice about it, it locks and it permanently holds that cushion there until you're ready for it to open. So many times the boats we're testing, we come off a plane, what happens?
Droop, everybody goes forward.
Cushion falls forward.
You're right.
Not going to happen on this boat. As we move aft, check out this rear deck. There's something in there you're going to like. You know how every boat you get on, the first thing you go look for is a live well?
Yes, I do.
Well, we've got the one in the front we talked about. You have 22 gallons here in the back, and they both have their own individual 800-gallon-per-hour pump.
Both live wells have recirculating pumps as well as intake pumps. What that means to you is fresh bait. If you take live bait and put it in stagnant water, even if it's got oxygen, it doesn't work. It's not alive. But if they're constantly swimming against that current flow that you set up in your live well, they're so much better when you put them on the hook. Believe you me, it's one of 100 little things that'll get you more bites.
Well, not only that, a redundant system. You've got each has their own pump, each has their own recirculating pump. So especially in tournament conditions, if by some chance one of the pumps gets clogged up, goes down, you've got backup.
You're not out of business, exactly right. And they did the right thing. You're always touting family, and you're right. They did the right thing. They put 2 jump seats back here, but they don't have to be used all the time. Here we go again, more than one usage for the space. It's a great rear casting platform, throw a cast net, fish a line off of, but you can flip it up to set the kids when you go for a cruise. I don't know what makes a boat fun, but I know it when I feel it, and this boat clearly is. It's fun to trailer, it's fun to drive, it's a great representative from Skeeter, and I think it's going to be a hit with tournament fishermen.
When we return, hosts Dave East and Rick Riles step aboard a boat built to handle the demands of inshore and offshore fishing, the Blue Wave 2400 Pure Bay. This segment brought to you by Tough Coat. the world's #1 rubberized non-skid coating.
Why are more and more boat owners using Tough Coat Marine, the world's #1 rubberized non-skid?
Because it's so attractive and so easy to apply. The rubber granules used only in Tough Coat Marine is extremely comfortable to my bare feet and knees.
From pontoons to houseboats, flats boats to sport fishers, commercial to recreation, even hides nasty spider cracks.
For all boat decks or docks, Tough Coat Marine, the world's #1 rubberized non-skid.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they explain the importance of utilizing sunglasses while underway in this week's Best Boat Seminar Series.
You and I both know how valuable a good pair of sunglasses are when we're fishing. We've benefited greatly from the evolution of lens technology.
Well, beyond just being able to see in the water, the protection that they offer your eyes in general. UV rays are very harmful to your eyes, and just think of bugs, flying debris, a jig hit or something like that flying back at you. The physical protection that it offers you is immense.
You're telling me back before we had great sunglasses, I wouldn't wear sunglasses? Caught a treble hook right there in the eye. It would have prevented that in a heartbeat.
Well, being able to see on the water is very important. When it's very bright, if you're squinting, you're not going to see as good as if you have a good pair of sunglasses on that lets your eyes relax. You're going to see better.
Let me tell you, you can lose the view of what's in front of you if you don't have quality lenses and you're running into the sunlight.
You invest a lot of money in your boat, your truck, your fishing tackle. Don't get cheap when it comes to your eye protection. Get the very best that you can afford.
Now, let's check out the Blue Wave 2400 Pure Bay. Representing the 23 to 24 foot class in the bay boat category, the Blue Wave 2400 Pure Bay has an overall length of 24 feet 5 inches, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 300. Built to fish shallow and break through an inlet, she has a draft of 12 inches, a dead rise of 16 degrees, a dry weight of 2,200 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 78 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
We're aboard the Blue Wave 2400 Pure Bay. You know, this is the largest of their Pure Bay family. They build a 20, a 22, and a 24. And what's good about the length of 24 feet is this is a boat that on a decent day, you can take it offshore. And the extra length, it gets you to span the waves. But if this is a boat that you want to clear that inlet, it's going to be a lot more comfortable than a shorter version.
You get up to a 24 like this, you'll be surprised. Your first trip, you'll be a little nervous. You'll be surprised how easily it'll sink in that you're very comfortable 15, 20 miles offshore. You can also go up a creek.
Yes.
All right, this boat, I'm very impressed with how shallow it floats. Okay, it is designed to be exactly what it is. Okay, it's a boat that's at home in 12 inches of water and it's at home in 1,200 feet of water.
Let's look at some of the interior features they've done on this boat to make it so versatile. We're stood up here in the bow. It's got the nice big casting platform that we like for multiple anglers, but the double step, something that you and I both have fallen in love with. We've seen on a lot of boats. On this particular boat, both of those lockers are insulated, so you can use them as fish boxes, coolers. You can put your ice in one and your fish in the other and transfer it as the day goes on. So it's not just storage, it's insulated storage.
Here's the reality. Everybody makes good bay boats anymore. They're all good. It's little things. Now, what made me a fan of Blue Wave is little bitty things. For example, these rod lockers, okay? Oh, yeah, we all got rod lockers. These have got steps to them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Where your lower rods are ahead of your upper rods. You can access a bottom rod just as easily as you can one on the top step. It's just a little thing that you really grow to appreciate the more you're around the boat.
One thing that they did do on this boat, and it's just cool, we can debate the practicality of it all you want. You look at this live well, it works as a live well, but it's something you've never seen on a boat before. This is cool. The shape of it's good. It's up here in the front of the boat. It's where the bait belongs. So for live bait, we're probably going to be fishing off the front of the boat. They do have another live well in the back that's huge, but this one being right here, we don't have to walk to the very back of the boat to get it. So I like the location. The function is good, but the neat factor is off of the chart.
Gives it a little wow factor. Well, let's step behind the console because I found something back here I really like. Now, tell me something. Hop up on there. Comfortable?
Oh, very.
Now this is one of the sweetest rocket launchers we've seen because they paid extra attention to the seating.
Face it, how much time are you going to spend behind this helm compared to how much time you're going to spend everywhere else? You spend a lot of time back here. It should be comfortable. Not only that, safe. I've got a side handrail right there.
Yep.
We're locked in.
Yep.
We get in rough water and we're being tossed around a little bit. I feel very, very secure. This to me is better than just a little tiny leaner that we're kind of half cheeking it on, and only thing we have to hang on to is a steering wheel or the T-top.
And let's face it, the man that wrote the check for the boat, this is his primary residence on the boat. We need to make him comfortable, and I think Blue Wave did a good job of it.
The man that wrote the check got permission from
the woman
somebody
that
else.
sits here.
You got to keep her comfortable.
That's correct.
And that's very important. Now, if you do want to stand and drive the boat, you can. You can stand up, you can lean against this, very comfortable. You can still see over the console. But when it comes to comfort, for the long day out on the water, this seat's hard to beat. Well, there's 2 additional seats behind us on the stern platform. Check those out. Both of these jump seats flip up. They have fold-down armrest. So if you're going to take additional people, this is a really comfortable place for them to sit. And being on the side like that, you're in the wind, you can see what's going on. You're not right here in the back and your vision's blocked by the guys sitting in front of you.
Well, you're right, and they completely go away to make this a great rear casting platform too. It's not like you have to deal with them all the time. You may pop them up once or twice a year when your kids want to go out.
One of the best things about this rear casting platform is their release well. It's got the largest drain I have ever seen of any bay boat.
And the reason for that is so things don't get clogged up in it. You don't end up with a shrimp caught in the live well drain. It's really a very good idea. They've been doing it for a while. It's tested. It works like a charm. The thing that Blue Wave does right that made me a fan are little tiny things. Things that unless you had been around boats a lot, you wouldn't necessarily pick up on. But boy, after you own the boat for a while, you would really appreciate the little things that they paid so much attention to.
When we come back, hosts Dave East and Rick Riles check out a boat made to fish almost anywhere with the family in comfort, the Carolina Skiff 24 Ultra Elite. This segment brought to you by Costa Del Mar. See what's out there. We do it all. Custom fiberglass repair, upholstery and canvas work, custom dash panels, specializing in insurance claims, Suzuki and Yamaha sales and service. We do it all. One-stop boat shop, home of fantastic plastics and the fiberglass shop. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they check out the Carolina Skiff 24 Ultra Elite. Representing the 23 to 24 foot class in the bay boat category, the Carolina Skiff 24 Ultra Elite has an overall length of 23 feet 9 inches, a beam of 8 feet 5 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 250. Engineered for maximum versatility, she has a draft of 9 inches, a dry weight of 3,168 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 78 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
Now we're going to take a look at the Carolina Skiff 24 Ultra. And you know what? I really can't make up my mind what to call this boat. But for the guy that's out there looking at boats that can't make up his mind, this may be the exact boat he's looking for.
Well, what you're not going to call it is a single-purpose boat.
Well, in a word, probably versatile. It'd be the best way to describe it, because you could ski out of this boat, you could fish out of this boat, you can take the family and cruise, you could dive. Not only that, you can do it all in 24 feet. So you don't have the commitment of a much larger boat that normally you would have to go into to have this amount of features.
Right. This isn't your boat or his boat or this is our boat. This is the family boat. You understand where I'm going with that?
Absolutely.
Everybody's got a bow area. Everybody's got a different design. Let me show you what I love about this one. First off, the recessed platform, we've talked about that. It is just so much more comfortable to be up there than it is on a gunnel height platform. But even the backrest, Dave, look at this. You know what this is? This is the old KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. We've seen all kind of fancy ways to put these backrests on, but this works. It's a slot, it's a good sturdy hinge, and it works like a champ.
Well, when the family does want to sit up here, you've got 3 comfortable cushions. They carry their combing all the way around. So if you want to sit forward and face backwards, or if you want to sit backwards and face forward, they make provisions for both. But for the fishermen like you are, you've got 2 really big fish boxes in the front. They're both insulated. It's a good place to keep for dry storage, but if you happen to catch a big fish, great place to put him. You got 2 boxes right here. You don't have to carry a separate cooler.
And they're long enough. It doesn't matter how big your box is, it's being able to slide him in there, and you can do it with these.
All right, as we make our way back, the versatility of this Ultra model remains even in the console. you have two ways to enter this console. The whole front end lifts up and it's got a privacy curtain, or if you don't want to go through all that, maybe someone's sitting up there, you've got a side door which will also allow you access into the console.
It's a great idea to do it coming from either side. One more step in the evolution of consoles.
Well, it doesn't hurt anything to have both entries. It's just one more way where it makes the boat more versatile. It's better. You can get in and out of the console easier. There is a head down there. It's small, but hey, if you got to use it, you got enough room to do it. And with a simple leaner seat, you have a cooler underneath, but honestly, what more do you need? Keeping the console and the seat to fit the boat gives you a lot more room inside the cockpit. This is a boat you're going to take multiple people on. You're going to take the family, you're going to take the neighbors, you're going to do some cruising, maybe you do diving, you're going to have your gear everywhere. They've given you enough cockpit space to use it rather than putting a console that kind of overpowers the boat like we've seen in other boats. Well, another feature that kind of stands out on this boat when you compare it to other bay boats that are in the 24-foot range, this boat has a lot more freeboard than you typically see on other bay boats out there. If you're going to be bringing your family, or if you're going to be busting that inlet, having that higher freeboard is something you're really going to appreciate.
I am convinced that bay boats came from flats boats, and they just started making giant flats boats, right? And they're starting to evolve, and this is one step in this process. Going back to a little more freeboard so you feel more secure offshore.
Yeah, this is almost an offshore boat that stepped down to a bay boat rather than a flats that stepped up.
Right.
Okay, well, let's move our way back to this rear casting platform. Even with this nice big high freeboard, you still have a self-bailing cockpit. You've got two scuppers back here. Anyone that gets in the boat is going to go right out.
Well, you know what's more important than that to me? I'm on the rear casting platform. I'm still in the boat. You understand the difference?
Right.
I mean, recessing this makes so much difference. But how valuable is it when you've got a boat for your family to have 3 jump seats across here? You and I could stand here and seriously work on a school of dolphin. We could just as easily prop these 3 seats up and have very comfortable seating for our guests.
You've got additional storage boxes underneath the 3 seats. You have a huge live bait well on this side, and you've got storage over here where you keep your batteries.
When you're working with a rear casting platform, it's all about maximizing your space. I don't see any wasted inches in this one. So if you are campaigning to your family to get a boat, okay, you understand what I'm saying? It ain't just you and your buddy saying, what do you think? If you need to sell this idea of getting a boat to your entire family, you need to take a serious look at this Carolina Skiff.
If you want more information on the 3 boats that you've seen today or any of the other boats that we've tested in this season of Best Boat, go to our website, floridasportsman.com.
Or we'll see you next week with another episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat.
When filming for Florida Sportsman Best Boat, the cast and crew docked and dined at Fort Pierce City Marina in Fort Pierce, Florida, featuring a full-service, state-of-the-art dock system within walking distance from excellent restaurants and historic downtown Fort Pierce. Each month, turn to Florida Sportsman for the best in boating and fishing coverage.